Dust on the highway, voices in the wind. People still talking about where we have been. Courthouse lights burning, old questions remain. Who spoke for the people? Who carried the strain? Years of hard meetings, taxes on the mind. Families kept asking what they left behind. Roads full of miles, pressure in the air.
And we are back. Second time today. All right, Correa County, today we're doing something dangerous. We're talking politics, and we're actually going to try to have fun doing it. My guest today is William Greg Smith, candidate for Copperas Cove City Council. William has spent 34 years in fire and emergency services, served the United States Coast Guard,
Correct.
responded to disasters including Hurricane Harvey, and has been active in our veterans community. And apparently after all of that, he decided his life wasn't stressful enough. So he's running for city council. Now, this isn't a debate. This isn't a campaign commercial, and William did not get my questions ahead of time. We're going to talk about Copperas Cove, taxes, spending, accountability, public safety, probably some things he wishes I hadn't asked, and we're going to find out who William Greg Smith actually is. I'm Marimed Cruz Nieves. This is a Correa County Scoop. William, welcome to the complaint department. Let's get into it.
Good afternoon. Great to be here. Thank you.
And since I mentioned the complaint department, as you and I spoke before we went live, my complaint department today in the city of Copperas Cove is that I don't have any water. This morning I had no pressure. Today I had no water. And you told me that you didn't have water when?
Probably yesterday. I mean, I've been out and about, and I think it was very low pressure yesterday at my house, and I live over by the golf course. So you probably were probably having the same problems.
Thank you, City of Copperas Cove. And that's why I imagine one of the reasons that you are running for council, right?
Yeah, I've got some other issues, but that's the biggest thing is let's get to handling our infrastructure issues, taxes, tax bases, that sort of thing, and bring back something that maybe Copperas Cove has lost. But the biggest thing is we need to start taking care of our folks that live here, and that starts with getting our infrastructure back to where it needs to be. And if it's not there, it needs to be there.
I mean, what they're all the money that they're fleecing us for, including the road fees and the higher water fees and all this stuff. Shouldn't we have water today? I mean, it's starting to look a little bit. I don't know if you know, I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico, originally, and this is the longest place that I've ever been. But Puerto Rico, my sister didn't have water for 7 days, and it's starting to look a little bit like here, and it's crazy.
Right. You know, here's the thing is I'm not really going to knock the water department that much other than the fact that if we've got aging systems in our neighborhoods, which what it sounds like to me, then we need to bring those systems up. But that doesn't mean tax everybody to do that or additional taxes. They should already have earmarked funding that is made available that they can do maintenance. And I'm sure they have, but at some point, the system has got to be fixed if it's breaking down, and if it's a major fix, we're going to have to figure something out. But taxing us is not going to help. It's going to cause more of a strain on not only them but us as citizens. I mean, if we're on fixed budgets, that's kind of hard to do. And I've heard it. Yeah. We're not getting income because got a lot of veteran-based folks in here that are 100% disabled. I'm tired of hearing that.
That is just, and I discussed this with the other guy a few hours back when I had another interview. Leo Corona is running for the Gatesville mayor. That is not, listen, when we veterans or active or retire are here in this city, there's a lot of perks they get from us. Like when my kids were in school, they get more money for my kids being in school. Correct. So I think the problem, and I don't know if you agree with me, is the way they manage funds. For example, you live next to the golf course. Tell me, how many of our citizens use the golf course, and why are we spending $1.something million to keep that mostly nobody uses?
Well, I mean, I've played the golf course. I'm not a regular golf member. I don't go and play grounds fees and that kind of thing. I mainly go there just for information. I just go there and I mess around with just hitting some balls. I actually play 1 or 2 rounds every so often, but you know, uh, they're paying all this money. People are they're maintaining it, and you're right. There's nothing to offer. And me personally, and this is just me, the maintenance on that golf course, I could see them having a budget of that if their maintenance on the golf course was proper. I mean, you've got a rundown golf course, very small clubhouse. Uh, I don't know what the maintenance entails there, but it doesn't look like the golf course that's over on Fort Hood or even the one that's at Skylark. Uh, so what are they doing? I don't know where the money's going. They say they got all this funding. Well, then put the funding into the golf course. But again, I don't know where that funding's going. Are they
So you
reallocating
think
it to
it's run
something
down?
else?
Because I haven't been there for a while. Because when I went there the last time, and it was like over 10 years ago, it didn't look that bad. But again, if it was for me, if I was in a council, I will vote to get rid of the golf course and put a civic center or something that the people use, because I don't, the only way that golf course, if we had a lot of people, it was bringing in money, revenue, then maybe. But I mean, do you think it's bringing any revenue, and how many
Well,
people use it?
here's I have not seen their city comptroller or whatever has for what it's actually bringing in. I'd like to see those numbers. I don't think it we need to get rid of it. Uh, but there is a following of folks that I see because I live up there and I'm up there all the time. That it's relatively busy. What people don't realize, it's pretty busy. But again, should that allocate that amount of money when we have a civic center and it's out by the park? But really, is it all that great? I know it's
No,
newer,
the civic
but what are you
center, I'm
offering them?
sorry, but it's not that great. It's one. And two,
Well,
the
you're
other thing
right.
that
It's
is great
one,
is the
but
city park. Have you gone to the city park?
yeah, I haven't been there either. And if I did more, it was more active in sports and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But that's not my thing. But I think they spend more money on that than they do at the golf course, which they probably should do because it's used more. But I think we can we can have a balance somewhere to where we're not getting rid of something. But again, we don't need to increase taxes to fix something that's not bringing us money. Again, I got to see the numbers to actually go, okay, yeah, this is detrimental, uh, and it's not doing any good. If it's hemorrhaging us some money, then yes, by all means,
I
it's
mean, like I
something that
told you,
needs
they
to be
wanted
removed.
to raise the other day the budget for the golf course. It was going to be $1.5 million. That's an
Yeah,
example of just so you know, and I pull some numbers here and the golf course. The operations from this year, 25 to 26, is $358,000. Maintenance $180K. Debt payments is $13K. Total expenditures is $552,000, and total revenue is $580,000. They want to up that for 2026, 2027. So the proposed golf course spending jumps from 443K to 641,000, an increase of roughly $198,000 over 2 budget years.
right. I would
So
like to
that's an
see.
example. And by the way, they have a negative fund balance.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would
If
like to
you
see
didn't
the
know.
numbers, and I don't mean anything that might be uh, out there or whatever. I want to see true numbers on if it's hemorrhaging us as a community and not bringing anything in or lower numbers or negative numbers, it needs to go. Just like any business, if your business is not working to a certain point and you're hemorrhaging whatever, then you get rid of that project and move on to something different that's actually going to do something that's worthy. If that's the case, and I'm not speaking that it is because I don't know the entire number situation and in writing and see it, but again, that's one of those things we need to vote on, and it shouldn't be, and it should be brought up to everybody going, hey, this is what we have, and not just certain members deciding, okay, this is what we want. You got the community comes in and goes, oh, well, this is what we think. Show me the numbers. You show them the numbers, and they decide, no, we're not gonna take what your opinions are, and we're just gonna go with it. That makes no sense to me because you're just continuing to hemorrhage more money out, and then you're gonna raise taxes, and then you're still not doing the project that you're supposed to be doing. Where is this cash flow earmarked for? And if it's not being used for its earmark, where is it at? Is it
We need a
hidden in
Copperas
Neverland?
Cove Doge department, because
Yeah.
it seems like they're every year everything is going up. And I'm sorry, but I don't see it. I don't see it anywhere around us. Like I said, the city park sucks.
Yep.
The golf course, you said, is run down. And we don't even have the numbers of how many people use it. But the kids don't have anything to do here. That's why the
Yep.
kids are getting in trouble. We need something.
And I've brought that up, you know, and you know, the golf course, I don't really consider it run down, but it could be a hell of a lot better than what it is. But again, I know that takes time, money, and effort. I don't know what their staffing looks like, if they can afford staffing. I know that was probably part of some of the budget that they wanted to increase, but maybe
Well,
it's the
maybe
area.
if
I
we were
don't
not
know.
paying, brother, maybe we were not paying almost $300,000 to the city manager.
Yep.
If you don't know,
Well,
maybe
no,
we
I
have
know.
more
I've
money,
seen.
or we were not paying the superintendent over
Yep.
$150,000.
mean,
Maybe we
I
have more
see
money
that.
for the right stuff.
Yeah, I see that, you know, and another thing that you just brought up is something for our kids. Now I know we have the Boys and Girls Club. It's been a while since I've been in there, but me growing up, we had the YMCA, YWA, we had the Boys Girls Club, and I don't see ours being really what it should be, and it needs to be. And but you're right, we need something for the kids. We had a movie theater, we have one. It's way on the other side of town. I'm not saying it's bad or good, but at least it's something. But a bowling alley. We had the skating
A
ring, and they
bowling
decided
alley.
in its
We need a
infinite
bowling alley,
wisdom.
brother, and a real civic center, and
Yep.
maybe a sports place.
We need a lot of stuff. But again, you know, it all depends on what's important to the council, because ultimately that's who it is.
No,
What's
no, no,
important to the
wait,
council.
brother. Like, we have a home rule charter, which is basically what is important not to the council, is what is important for the people of the city.
You're right. You're right. It's the people that decide. But ultimately, right now, the council or whatever their sidetrack is, it's important to them not to do it, or they don't have funds to do it. And I don't believe that's right.
It seems they have funds for what they want, but they don't
That's
have
it.
funds for what they need. And when they need stuff, they just fleece us and keep raising our taxes.
That's it.
I'm sorry, but I really have gotten very jaded about our government here in the city of Copperas Cove, because I don't feel hurt at all as a citizen, and I've been here 25 years.
Yeah. I mean, you're not the only one. There's a lot of folks that I are friends with that are veterans, and those that aren't veterans, and they're very disgruntled about the situation, period. The growth or lack thereof. You've got nothing for people to bring in here. To It's not Harker Heights. You know, when I remember when Harker Heights started out, they had nothing, and then when that big piece of property over there by the freeway at 2484 or whatever, 2657, whatever it was over there, they had nothing until that lady sold that piece of property that was there, and look at them now. And that's what we need. And they've got the development back there behind Walmart that's been there for, let me say, a minimum of 7 years, and they got the Gold's Gym that came in there.
We
and
had
the
the
warehouse that was
CVS
there.
empty building, and doing nothing that they can do something with that building.
Yep.
And then I mean, seriously, I just like, I really been wanting to move from Cove, because I'm very, very tired of not seeing, and then not having water.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I don't have water. What the
I
heck?
mean, the biggest thing that I see other than that is that we need to get and I hate to say it, and I'm not there yet. I'm not in that position, but we need an independent audit dropped in here to find out why we're not functioning the way that we should be functioning. And we might be. I do not know, but it's frustrating when people go to these meetings that I've heard, and they bring up stuff and they bring up ideas, and they get
They
shot
don't
down.
listen.
They
They
get
don't
shot
listen.
down.
That's why I don't even, when I go to the
Yep.
council, I
And
don't
we're the
even
people
say
for the
anything.
people. That's what it's supposed to be for, not the city council shutting people down because they don't want to hear what they have to say.
You know that people, I'm going to tell you, there's people that are afraid to talk in front of the council because you have to tell your address,
Right.
that they don't start harassing you. Because, example, we have the golf course, right? How much water do you think that requires? But when there's a drought, what do citizens have to do? We have to what? We have to ration. Why? Why are we wasting money, as an example, on the golf course when there's a drought? And that's not bringing revenue.
Yep.
There's a negative fund in the golf course, which is why I said I think it should be completely. By the way, the last time I went to the council, which was 2 months ago, and somebody said, "Why is it that we don't see the salaries of the manager?" They said you need to do an open request to get the salary of the manager, and we found out there was almost $300,000, which is not commensurate to the area. This is
You're
not
right, because
Austin.
our city manager wants to get paid, and I'm going to bring it up, and maybe it'll make people mad, but he wants to be paid like he's in Austin. And that's not the case. I mean, I don't know what the city manager in Killeen makes, which is a lot bigger. They got a lot more things going on. Same with Harker Heights. But you're right. It doesn't validate his position. If maybe we had 600,000 people in this town, maybe. But you better be doing something right to get paid that. And I don't know why it is. I mean, I know they want to hire from what I understanding, I could be wrong. I'd have to check up on it.
How many the city? Okay, so city of Cove, city of Killeen, the manager is getting paid $270,000, but they have way more people over there, right?
That's what I'm saying. People? That would validate the reason for that position being paid like that. Cove, I'd have to look into what his job here entails. It would probably be the same as what it is in Killeen.
So the estimate for Killeen is $161,000. I think we are $50K.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. It
doesn't make sense. But again, I don't know. Obviously, this was voted on, which, maybe people didn't know all the ins and outs.
We didn't vote for his salary. That's the council.
No. But, that's again, I'll probably say something that's probably going to get me hung, but it's like they're patting their own feet.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that's happening. That's got to be happening, or it wouldn't have been it wouldn't be in the place that it's in right now. And that's what we got to curtail. If this is what's happening during the city council, it's time for some audits. And it's time for somebody to start making some rash decisions and questions and going, if this is the way you're doing it, it's time for you to leave. We're going to get you to leave. And, I'm hoping there's no criminal activity being conducted. I doubt there is. I don't want to say that out loud, but it's always in the back of people's minds that maybe something's not great. But again, these are questions and answers that people have been asking, and nobody wants to deal with it because, well, maybe they're afraid they're going to find something. Well, if we find something, then it needs to be addressed, and you're going to be held accountable. That is what your position is. As a council member, you are working for the people. You are not working for the city manager.
No, or for you to push your own agenda, because
you're not working for anybody but the people that put you in the office. And
we need the Doge an audit. But look at this. Was it last year that changed the logo? Was it this year? $50,000 to change a logo where the city of the 5 Hills was working already. That's an example of wasted money.
Waste, fraud, and abuse, which could have went to many of other things. I mean, it could have been used for something that maybe the emergency services might have needed, the police department, whatever. I do believe that was a serious waste of money for in my personal opinion, a logo that looks like a 2-year-old drew it.
It looks like Pac-Man from the 1980s. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
And I hate to say it like that, but that's the reason, nobody wants to want to hurt everybody's feelings. Well, you know what? I don't give a crap about your feelings. If you're not doing something right, you got to be brought out. You got to put them on the floor. And I know people have done it and are continuing to do it, and they get beat down. And it's time for somebody like myself, and maybe hopefully the new candidates that are going for the other positions, to stand up and go, okay, this has been going on long enough, and it's not working. We're not getting any better. We need to get better. Make Copperas Cove into somewhere that somebody really truly wants to be here. But you got to offer something. You got to bring something in that is not hurting this place. We don't need no more houses, no more vape
What about
shops,
the storage? How many storage
crap.
we need? How much storage we need? Do you know that they're gonna take the whole area where a lot of the places are moving because they're putting
Cove
more
Terrace.
storage?
Yes, Cove Terrace, and they're going to turn it into storage. Again, that's just somebody not forward thinking, and that's on them. I mean, they own the building; they can do whatever they want to do. But if it was me, I would be trying to make more money than what's on a storage facility. But again, I'm not here to comment on somebody else's decision on their property. They should have thought better, gotten some kind of
Yeah.
report. Hey, maybe this is what we need to bring in and bring some more money. That's on them. But unfortunately, we really don't have much to say at that level on that, because that's a personal property that somebody owns.
Exactly. We cannot do anything but that. But usually,
that is. But
don't they have to approve the council or the code enforce or code thing
enforcement? I would.
to basically
I
approve
can guarantee in
that?
some way, shape, or form they do. Again, I don't know the ins and outs of all the codes. I mean, I'd have to be spending a week just trying to go through the codes and go, this is how you remodel or rebuild. But again, it probably has to be voted on. But again, it's a personal business. I mean, well, it's not a personal business, it's a commercial business. So I mean, if they've got the right, they've done the right permits and paid their dues and whatever, and they get approval, then they get approval. Again, I don't know if that goes towards the council or the city bond or anything like that. I don't think it does. If it does, well, then that's something that needs to be addressed as far as us as a community. But if it's not, then we're pretty much in the dark. It's something that, if they're paying the code and they can do all the stuff that needs to be done, it's whatever they want to do, whatever they want to put in there. There's not much recourse that we would have unless it's something that's, safety issue or, et cetera, that they would get denied. But if they're paying their stuff and they're following code and procedure, then we don't have much of a choice, I don't believe, in what they put in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice if we did, but again, that's their property.
Now, talking about the codes specifically, because you said that you were looking at the codes, and if you go and check Copperas Code city codes, tell me what you found, because I know that you cannot do certain things. And I remember when I got into the city, you could change a door without needing a permit. Now you need a permit to cuff.
Well, pretty much you need a permit to do anything. And that, again, that's wrong.
It's a money grab again.
National code. Yeah, and I think it is a money thing. I honestly think it is. And that's how they make their revenue. I don't know. I'm just stipulating on that. But, that is completely unreasonable to ask that. And I guess that's the way Cove has done it. That shouldn't be the way that's either. I mean, I'm sure we can make our money without having to penny everybody that wants to, even a civilian, even a regular person that wants to do stuff. That's stupid. A commercial guy, well, at what point does it get stupid on, okay, I got to change a light bulb, I need a permit? And I'm throwing that out there as just being an example, but for the most part, does it really need that? I mean, yeah, if it's an electrical code or something like that, or maybe it's a foundation.
Yeah, we're not talking about any of that stuff that requires a license.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about that. But you know that a lot of the businesses left because of the road fee, because they're charging people that are renting here road fee, which I think is wrong. Because if you have a business here, you're trying to stimulate the economy. Well, all those people left to Killeen.
Yeah, and the road fee, that's a double-edged sword. You got the road fee for the city, and then you would think that and I think that probably does happen, but the county would maintain some, if it's county roads. But if you're going to charge a road fee, let's see some roads. Let's see some maintenance, not a patch. Again, where does the money go? Show me where it goes. If it's earmarked and you're not using it for what it's supposed to be used for, then, there's an issue there. And we got to get to it. At what point do we get to our roads? We're driving and my car breaks because I went over a pothole. What kind of recourse do I have there? Now your road just caused me damage because you failed to maintain it. That's infrastructure protection. That's infrastructure itself. It's going to get to that point, or again, you got to tear the road up for a water main break, but then you don't fix it properly. Why? Well, we ran out of money. How did you run out of money if you said you had the money? Again, it all falls down to an audit, and I mean an audit starting from the top to the bottom, every department, every system within the city. I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong, but that's the whole point. An independent audit to make sure that all the checks and balances are right, the money's where it's supposed to go, going where it's supposed to go, and if it's not, why not? It's no different than being a member of a veterans organization, and every year if there's a change in a commander, you come in and you'd have trustees come in or an independent person come in and they review all your records. And if it doesn't mesh, then nobody's going to sign off on it. And we got to find out what's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think this should be something that's a yearly thing. If it happens here, great. I want to see it. But if it doesn't, why isn't it being done? It would only make us stronger. It would make people feel a
Yes.
lot more
Yes.
happy and fuzzy about our city council. Well, then we would know where our money goes and where it's not
Mm-hmm.
going. And then there would be very little debate on, okay, do we need a tax increase, not an in tax increase? Our money, is it working here or not working here?
Mm-hmm.
We would know that. And then it would be easier for everybody. And nobody would get all mad and butthurt about this situations of any kind if we had something that was in writing and you didn't have to make a records review to pick it up. It should be available, in my opinion, something like that.
Especially the salary of the manager.
It should be on the website. It should be
Right?
on the website.
The salary of the manager is an example.
Yeah,
As taxpayers, we have rights in the city of Cove.
correct.
A home rule charter states that it serves the people. You're supposed to listen to us. I don't feel hurt at all. So why is it that the manager's salary is hidden and you need an open request to get the salary?
Well, this is my opinion, and again, it's my opinion. It's wrong. Whether he had anything to do with it or not, I doubt it. Without a doubt, it was probably voted on in some way, shape, or form. But it shouldn't be hidden.
No, we didn't vote. We didn't.
Hidden, as
We
you know,
people
anything
didn't
that's
vote
being
for that.
hidden, anything that's being hidden is considered people are going to consider that as wrongdoing. Whether it is officially wrongdoing or not, they're going to automatically go to that point, and it might be legal as hell. It might be, hey, this is what was voted. Here are the minutes, whatever. Let's see that. But the first thing somebody's going to go is there's either a conspiracy or they're hiding stuff under the table. Again, with an audit from an outside agency would curtail a lot of the crap we're happening, and then we wouldn't have this. Everybody would be on the same page, and that would be it. Then we knew where we can go, what we can do, and how we can do it. Unfortunately, it keeps coming back, like you said. Well, that's in essence, it's classified until you request it publicly in writing. Well, okay, but why do you post some stuff on your website for the agenda and the budget, and some stuff you don't? Is it really that classified? No, and nothing should be classified.
Exactly, because again, the city council and the manager work for the people, and it's time for us to get transparency.
Transparent and take back our community, our city, because right now that's not it. That's not happening. But we're allowing it to happen because nobody's stepping up to the plate, going, okay,
exactly.
How now we're going to escalate this further. If you fail to answer our questions, and we have legitimate questions and answers, and you're kicking us away or throwing us off, then it's time for somebody to escalate this further. Whether that being, let's go to Secretary of State's office, Attorney General's office, the IG's office, and filing an official complaint and asking for an impartial investigation or audit. Not an investigation, but an audit, and go, hey, put us at ease. Here you go. We're good or we're not good. I have
a question, brother.
Yes.
If you could fix one thing in Cove tomorrow morning, money and bureaucracy magically disappear, what are you fixing?
For me, and this is for me, I'm worried about everybody that live in this town. And what I mean by that is I would fix the emergency services issues that we're having in this town. And yes, everything that's been brought up, the schools, the kids not having anything to do, the roads. But at the end of the day, you have got to have people that are still living in this town. And if the emergency services aren't functionally working properly, we need to have that taken care of. And I know I'm partial to that because I'm prior emergency services, but I see it every day. And unfortunately, it's not because of the emergency services in here in town. I would like to see more fire stations, more cops on the street, more firemen in the street, more fire trucks in the street, more fire stations on the street. Because right now, it takes a long time to get somebody out there EMS wise. You're stripping your department whenever there's a structure fire. I don't know if anybody realizes this. You're stripping your fire department. If they get a main structure fire on this installation on or anywhere in Cove, at a minimum they're stripping two of the fire stations down to nobody. I don't know if you realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. Copperas Cove runs three fire stations in this town, and unfortunately, one's across the railroad track. So if we get a train that runs through, that train cuts off that fire unit for, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. That's a big deal. Um, and we need another fire station on the north side. We need one on the south side. We need one over by Walmart, because you got commercial businesses over there, Walmart, HEB, eventually the VA hospital, or medical clinic, I should say. You're going to need that. And you need to have the personnel to man those fire trucks. Right now, they're running, some of the stations only have 4 people on shift per day, and they're running 2 people on the engine and 2 on a medic truck. You can't really do what you need to do as far as fighting fire. And you have to call Copperas Cove, which is nothing wrong with that. Not Copperas Cove, Fort Hood, which is nothing wrong with that. That's part of our mutual aid agreement. But, at some point, they're going to get into a situation that we're working a full structure fire on Fort Hood, and maybe we're not going to be able to send a fire truck over. What happens then, especially if you've got 2 ambulances that are already out on a call coming from the hospital or going to the hospital? What happens then? All you can do is sit outside and fight the fire. And if there happens to be somebody inside that building and you only got 2 firemen, you're taking a big risk sending your firemen in there without having a proper backup.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and that's a lot of.
Yeah, we have our brothers and sisters from the Osage Volunteer Fire Department that are doing a great job. And again, I don't understand why they have to risk their life and not get paid. That's another thing. I don't know. That's another. Maybe you can answer me that question, but
well, it all depends. It all depends on volunteer. Okay, first of all, they're volunteer, which has nothing to do with it. They're certified in the same level. Some volunteer departments have paramedics, some don't, just have EMTs, but they're certified in the same level as far as Texas is concerned as any professional fire department here. I know fire departments, volunteer fire departments, that can make some of the professional fire departments look like crap in this state and in other states. But it all depends on, obviously, like, let's use Kempner and Osage's thing as an example. Maybe they don't have the money coming in. I mean, they do and they don't. They don't have a very large tax base. That would probably handle it. Their insurance level might not warrant them a full paid department. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but they get good equipment. I mean, the state helps fund some of their equipment through A&M for brush trucks and other things. They can get grants, but sometimes it comes down to just how large your township is, what your tax base is. I mean, Kempner's the prime example. I mean, they've got 2 stations. They've got fairly good equipment. Some stuff might need some repair, but they just their budget might not be able to warrant a full 24-hour paid department. That's where the volunteers come in, which you got pros and cons of that too. There's nothing against what the volunteers are doing, and there never has been. But again, you got to have the services, and obviously, money walks and crap walks even further. If you don't have the base, you just don't have the base. And there's ways around it, but for volunteer departments, a lot of their stuff comes from, I don't know if you realize this, most of it comes from donations, like, like having like a barbecue or whatever. That facilitates some of the funding that maybe the city can't provide. Again, they don't get paid a lot. They get paid per call, not on salary. They still get paid, but it's not a lot. Because I was a volunteer a long, long time ago. I was working in the Coast Guard. I was in Kodiak, Alaska. On top of me working for the federal government as a firefighter in the Coast Guard in Kodiak, I was a volunteer department, and all of our funding basically came from some kind of fundraiser.
Yeah, they were doing. They do a lot of fundraisers. The volunteers in Osage. I'm very aware of how they operate. It's just like, anyway. Let's move to another subject.
Yes.
You get elected. Someone brings you a beautiful PowerPoint asking for $500,000 for something you never heard of. What's the first question you're asking?
My first question is, okay, what is it? What is it? What benefit does it have for us? What benefit? I'm not just going to give arbitrarily agree to something that has nothing to do with the city or can benefit the city. Um, you know, let me put it like this. Let's say it's a women's organization. Okay, do you have any ties to this town? No. You just want to come in here and you just want free money. That ain't happening. You're going to have to prove to me, other than the PowerPoint presentation, where this is going, where the funds are going, where they're coming from, and what benefit. And if there's no benefit, by all means, no, well, you're not getting your money. That's going to go to somebody else that needs it. Like, let's just say the Boys and Girls Club. If they were to come and go, okay, we need
Mm-hmm.
$500,000 for an increase to help the building, we know where it's going. Hopefully it
Mm-hmm.
goes to there. I would be more willing to give that than to say anybody else. I want to know what benefit it's going to give our constituents, and where the funding doesn't necessarily where it's coming from unless it's a tax increase, and then by then
Mm-hmm.
we're not even going to deal with that. But
Okay, so
uh
I have another question. What's something the city of Copperas Cove spends money on that makes you go, wait, we're paying too much for that?
well, you brought up the logo change, or the logo. That was a big thing. Um let me see. I know there was one thing that they were going to do. I think they were going to do at one sum, and I think this is through. I think this is through the Department of Transportation for the state of Texas. But at one point, they wanted to start beautifying downtown. You got to have something to beautify down there. I mean, we got a bunch of old buildings, but why? I mean, do we really need trees
Mm-hmm.
down there? Extra water, extra trees. You got to cut up the road to put that some of that stuff in. Really, is that artistically or aesthetically, does that really need to
Mm-hmm.
be brought in? No, not at this point. Now, if later down the date, if the road, if we have a lot of different business coming in here and we got funding coming in and it's unlimited, now you want to do that, by all means. But right now, it's not benefiting
Mm-hmm.
anything. There's nothing to offer
Exactly.
in the first
Exactly.
place. That's just a waste. It could go to fixing street lights, street signs, like you said, the road. It could go to a water line. Really, do we need trees in the roadway, or we need a brick walkway? Not right now. Down the road, yes. If it
Mm-hmm.
warrants it, yes. But right now,
Okay.
it's just stupid.
So I have another question. Your campaign talks about accountability. So here's a dangerous question. If your friend is wrong and your political enemy is right, whose side are you taking?
Well, I mean, if my friend is wrong, he's wrong. I mean, if it's, you're going to prove it to me, prove it to me. And if you prove me he's wrong, well, then I'm going to have to side ethically and morally. I'm going to have to side with my political campaign, or my political folks that are in the council, because that's just the way the system works. I'm not going to go and backstab him. If he knows he's wrong, he knows he's wrong anyway. But
Mm,
I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I mean, it's not the end of the world for me as a person, that my friend, if he's my true friend, he would know, okay, yeah, you know what, I screwed up. um you're right. A true friend is going to do that. And if they don't, then they're not my friend. But if straight up, I mean, if they're doing something wrong, or they know they're wrong and I know they're wrong, hey, that's the way it's going to have to be. And it doesn't matter whether you're my
mhm,
friend, or
okay.
you're a constituent, or you're a council member. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And if it's brought forth that it's that way, hey, you're going to have to deal with that. And it doesn't matter if you're on either side of the
Yes.
track.
Okay, so I have
I'm
another
going to play it
question.
the same.
Residents are tired of taxes and fees creeping upward. Before you reach into my pocket for another dollar, what are you going to look for inside the city's budget?
What does it really validate that increase in tax? How does it validate? How, where, and when does this need to take place? Is there another means to allocate and locate this funds without raising the tax base? Uh, I
Mhm.
need, when it comes to taxes, I need firsthand, face to face, in paper, in writing, why we need to move it. What has failed that we need to raise taxes in the first place?
So I have
Misallocation of
so
funds.
going a secondary question to this question. Let's say that the council is voting for raising taxes, and it's something that you don't think should should be spent. Would you vote for them? Because it seems like everybody that
No,
usually
absolutely
they
not.
vote as a hive mind, and everybody votes yes.
No, I'm not going to go along to get along. If I know that something's not right, I don't believe in it, it's not right, and it's just going to cause more controversy and problems, I'm not going to vote for it. I don't care if the council gets mad or not. I mean, well, it could have went this way. I don't care. My job is to work for the people. That's why I'm in office, and I'm not going to vote for it. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm still at the end of the day. What they don't realize is you're still a citizen of your own town too, and what you're screwing other people on doing, you're screwing yourself doing. I'm not going to do that to myself or anybody else. If I don't agree with it, I'm not voting on it, and I'll be the
Yeah.
first person to get in the meeting and go, "This is wrong." We're not going to do it. They don't need another increase
Mhm.
just for the sake of having another increase. If that makes me a bad person or everybody thinks that I'm being against everybody, well, it might be, but I'm not going to let them penny us to death.
Mhm.
We still have people in this town that are on a budget.
Yep.
You know,
So another
we can't
question.
do
I'm
that.
giving you three buttons. You can only push one today. Fix roads, lower taxes, or bring more business to Cove.
Well, to be honest with you, they all work in hand in hand. We need all those, but
But you can only push one, remember.
only one button. So I would say the biggest thing is probably fix the roads would be the big thing. We still got to get around in this town
Now
safely.
you get a second button. What's the second? What's the next thing that you're gonna push?
Well, it's not going to be taxes. What was the other one?
It was fix roads, lower taxes,
Okay.
or bring more business to Cove.
Well, we've got to lower taxes. We still got to have money to do things with right now, and we can always get them businesses to come in. We need to get our infrastructure and stuff situated first before we start rolling around asking for businesses if we can't even take care of our own internal stuff. So the lower the taxes would be the biggest thing, and that would just make people happier and willing to spend money on other businesses that do come in here, or maybe attract other businesses that come in here. So the
Yeah,
taxes would be the next
yeah.
thing.
It's interesting that you say that because the majority of the time I go out of Cove.
Yeah, yeah,
It just seriously because we have they're better restaurants in Killeen.
right.
And so anyway, going back to another thing, what's something the current council has actually done right?
Oh, you know what? That's a hard one, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't see any. I don't see any really long term or even short term, in my opinion, uh, that I would even consider doing right.
So
I
now
think
the
there's
other direction, what needs to change with the council?
everything, trustworthy, transparency, accountability is obviously the biggest thing that everybody wants to hear about. Um, let's be more forthcoming on the stuff that we're actually doing and being paid for. So I would say from the top to the bottom, we need to fix everything.
Hmm. So what criticism about you would actually be fair?
Criticism about me,
Hmm.
you can criticize me all you want. It's all going to be fair. I mean, I don't know anything specific out there. If there is, by all means, bring it to my attention. But
I don't know because I
the,
don't know you. That's why I'm asking you.
well, I mean, you can say this. I'm upfront and forward. If that's criticized enough to get, whatever, I'm almost here to go for the small people or the people. And if that's because you guys think that I'm being aggressive or I don't care about stances, there's some stances I'm not going to really care about, and I'll tell you straight up. But I properly evaluate that in the form that it comes in. But the biggest thing is you can criticize me and say that I'm uh, overly aggressive. No, I'm not. I'm confident in my abilities, and that's what it is. And if you want to
Mhm.
criticize me because of that, then by all means, I really don't. It's not going to affect any day or shape or
Mhm.
form of how I
Okay.
do business. I'm going to continue to do it. Some people like that because I'm not going to let somebody get away with something that they shouldn't be getting away with.
So
And that's the.
what's something you changed your mind about in the last 10 years?
Uh, Actually, I'll tell you what, and not even the 10 years. Let's just say the last 3 years or 2 years I've been retired from the fire service. I kind of wished I hadn't. Hindsight 2020, knowing what I know now, probably could have stayed a little longer, but I didn't. That's the biggest thing. I wouldn't say it's a regret, but I probably would have been happier staying a little longer. But that was the biggest thing, is just going out a little earlier than what I wanted to. but it was time at the time. I thought it was time, and that
Yeah,
I
me
should have
too.
thought about it more. But
So you dealt with fires, hurricanes, flooding, and emergencies. What's the biggest emergency in Copper's Cove that isn't technically an emergency?
is it technically an emergency? uh, that's not an emergency. The biggest thing again is we need more. I keep saying it, and I'm going to harp on it until somebody figures it out. But the biggest thing, and it's not an emergency, is we need more. We need more firefighters and fire stations in this town to support what we got going on, or somebody's going to have a bad day, and there's not going to be many people around to help them out. That's the biggest thing for me is the fire department being able to do what they need to be doing without having to constantly call other departments to come in. And it's part of what the fire department does, but at some
Mm-hmm.
point they need to stand on their own for now and have the ability to do that until something is needed, additional resources. And right now, unfortunately, what I viewed is they're having a hard time to doing it. And it is not because of the fire chief or the firemen. It's the way the system is in this town. But we need to be able to support ourselves. We ever get a major disaster here in the town, of course, every city is going to be doing that and says that you need to be able to support yourself initially and then call for help. Right now, I do not see, in my opinion, that Copper's Cove can effectively handle a major incident without right off the bat calling for support
So
because
can,
they don't have the
yeah,
personnel.
yeah, yeah. So can you comment? I think it was this year, no, last year, where we had a whole scandal in the fire department. There was some people dealing with meth or something, and the department was investigated. Can you comment on that?
I can't comment that. Obviously, that's an ongoing investigation that's probably still going on. And I
I
am
mean
not
your
the person.
opinion, not on the not on
On my
anything.
opinion, I'm not going to
Yes.
badmouth anything that went down. That was a bad situation. Uh, I really don't. I really don't want to get involved with that type of comment with that because that's out of my purview as far as exactly what went down. I think uh, it could have been prevented in several different ways. Um, but again, I'm not going to really give my opinion or talk about it because it could have happened to anybody the way that it went down. Um, Again, it could be handled better from the top to the bottom, well, and the individuals that were involved in itself.
Do you think that
Uh,
they should have waited that long to tell the people what happened?
uh, Again, that all has to do with the
Transparency.
investigation that was conducted, and I'm not going to make a comment on that because I don't know how that went down. They were just trying to probably protect their personnel, and I don't mean protect them in the sense that, well, if they did something wrong, they're trying to protect them so they can get the right information out, the investigation out. Uh, Unfortunately, that's the way they have a policy probably in place for that. I would if I was a fire department and what have you. Um, it took a while because of probably the investigation took a while. So I'm not going to comment on anything like that as far
Okay, so
far
let's
as that's
let's move
concerned.
on from that. We're gonna do a rapid fire. Coffee
Okay.
or beer?
Uh, Beer.
Dogs or cats?
I have both.
Cowboys or Texans?
Neither one.
Spend or save?
Safe.
Tax increase or budget cut?
Ooh. None of it.
You're supposed to pick one.
Uh, I've gone through the budget cuts, so I can deal with that.
New development or fix what we already have?
Fix what we already have.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Firefighter food, actually good or absolutely terrible?
Oh no, good.
Most underrated place in Copper's Cove?
Oh, underrated. That's a difficult one. As far as just business itself, or does it,
Any place here, business or not.
VFW?
What?
Yep,
I'm talking about like Cove.
that's what I'm talking about.
What is DFW?
Our Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said DFW. I'm like,
No,
what?
no,
DFW?
Veterans
Okay.
of Foreign
No,
Wars.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. Most
No, that's fine.
favorite local restaurant.
Oh, I would have to say the El Catain up there, the new Mexican food restaurant.
I haven't tried that yet. One thing Cove needs more of.
Oh, well, there you go. Right off the bat, there's a lot we need of, but right now, good restaurants.
One thing Cove needs less of.
Vape shops.
Dude, like they're popping everywhere like freaking viruses.
Right.
Okay, so William, let's put politics aside for a minute. You spend most of your adult life serving other people. If Copperas Cove trusts you with this position, what promise are you personally willing to make to the people watching right now? The people watching now right now, and the people that are watching later.
I'm going to fight for you no matter what it takes and who I pissed off. That's the whole thing. I'm working for you, and that's what I'm going to do. If something comes up and it needs to be addressed, it's going to be addressed. I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not going to put it in the back wheelhouse. If you're trusting me in that position, I'm going to go and do everything I can to fix whatever that issue is, in whatever shape or form. And if that makes me look bad, well, oh well. You know what? I got a thick skin like anybody else in the military that does, or the fire service. I don't care. I'm fighting for you. That's who I'm here. That's who's going to be putting me here if I get voted in. So that's who I'm fighting for. So whatever your issues are, to my ability, I'm going to go out and do what needs to be done. And I'm not going to be caught in, well, you don't got to go along to get along crap. Because that did happen to me when I first ran a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was putting me like that. If you're not part of this group or this clique, you're not going anywhere. If you don't go along to get along, you're not going anywhere. And that at the time kind of made me angry, and kind of led me to believe that this was not what I wanted to do. Now that I've had a chance to really sit down and think about things, I don't care. I'm not going to go along to get along with certain entities in this town just so I can. Again, I don't work for them. I work for everybody. I work for all the people that's going to be putting me in office if I get into office. And beside the political crap of it, that's who I'm here to work for. And I will do everything I can to do what needs to be done. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Exactly. Let the people of Copperas Cove decide. Let the people of Copperas Cove decide. We decide. We are the ones that are voting. So anyway, all right, Correal County, you heard it directly from the candidate. And William, I'm going to make you one deal before you leave. If the voters put you on that city council, I'm keeping this video because 4 years from now, I'm going to invite you. But actually, I'm going to invite you before then. If you win, pull up this interview and we're going to find out whether you did what you told these people you were going to do. No gotcha, no politically party excuses, just did you do it or didn't you do it? So, William Greg Smith, are you willing to come back and face the tape?
Absolutely. I got nothing to hide. Let's do it.
There you have it. Correal County Scoop. Keep the receipts. Thank you, William, for coming on, being willing to answer questions you didn't get ahead of time, and being a good sport. And everybody watching, whether you support William or you don't, learn about your candidates, ask questions, check the numbers, and vote. If you don't vote, you shouldn't complain. I am Marimel Cruz Nieves, and this is Correal County Scoop, where nobody gets a free pass. And remember, guys, I'm a insurance broker, life insurance and health insurance. So if you need any help with that, please contact me. But we can still have a little fun while we are asking the questions. So I'll see you on the next one. And you guys have a blessed evening.